Hi, how are you doing? I am Angela Sage. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. Today I am going to talk about the letter D for the ABCs of Paganism. If you're not sure what that is, go back to my video that is A for Anubis that was posted in January. I actually have a playlist of all of the ABCs of Paganism videos, so that might be the easiest place. So for D, I decided to talk about daily practice. So what's a daily practice? Well, first, not everyone has to have one. I have one. A lot of people have one, but you don't have to have one. Basically, a daily practice to me is a way to bring the magic into my life on a daily basis, to connect with my spiritual allies, my angels, my deities, all of that kind of stuff on a daily basis. It gives me like a reason to do it, instead of having to come up with a reason. So let me tell you what's in my daily practice. I have a little post-it note I've written it down on that is now stuck to my phone, just to remind me. So the first thing I try to do every day is meditation. And before I meditate, I come sit here in front of my altar in this very chair I'm in now. I light my candle, I light incense, I always light a French vanilla stick because I love it. Wait, let's have the English version. French vanilla, there you go. And then for the second stick, I will either do lavender or white sage. That depends. The sage I find is cleansing. So if I feel like I want to get some cleansing energy going, I'll do the sage. I just absolutely love the smell of the vanilla and lavender together. Very relaxing to me. So I will sit here in front of my altar. If I feel like I should be holding anything, I will do that. This week, for example, I have been working with the Temperance card in Tarot. Try to get the light glare off of it, because I've been working on balance. So the last few days, I've been like holding this when I meditate. Sometimes I'll decide there's a certain crystal I'd like to hold. It's just kind of like what comes to me, and that's what I'll do. I usually meditate for around 10 minutes a day, give or take a couple of minutes. That's my morning practice anyway. At least I try to do it in the morning. Sometimes it's afternoon before I actually do it. But at least like 10 minutes. Sometimes I may meditate again later in the day. Sometimes I might do something more, like there's several guided meditations that I enjoy that I have sort of saved on YouTube into a meditation playlist, and so if I feel like doing one of those, it may become like a 20-minute meditation or something. But minimum it's like, well, probably like 8 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there, is what I do on a daily basis. And basically what I do is I start out taking some deep breaths, and then I just kind of let my breath relax. It stays a little deep, you know, naturally. And I kind of count my breaths till I get up to about 10. And then I go to my little world that I've created in my mind. Some would call it like a wonderland. I have multiple areas in this world. I have a foresty area. I have an area where like I sit on a sort of little mini island in the middle of a small stream. I have a beach, if I'm feeling like water is more what I want to work with. Usually it's nighttime, stars, moon in the sky. Sometimes it'll be more like sunset time, because I find sunset and sunrise to also be very magical times of the day. I very, very rarely ever am in the daytime in my mind. I don't like the sun for multiple reasons. It causes me physical pain. It causes my head to hurt. It causes my eyes to hurt. I have to wear sunglasses if I'm out in the sun. It can also trigger a migraine for me. Me and the sun don't get along. The moon, however, I'm quite connected with. So it's either nighttime or like sunrise or sunset. So, and then I go through my meditation. Now, every day in meditation, I ground. I sort of center myself. I go through my chakras to cleanse them, clear them, and all of that. Sometimes I use a guided meditation for that. It just depends on how I feel. One of my favorites is Tess Whitehurst on her channel on YouTube, which is just called Tess Whitehurst. She has a 10-minute chakra clearing meditation that I really like. So I do that one. There's a plane flying over if you can hear it. I do that one sometimes. It depends on how I'm feeling about my chakras and if I feel like I'm just gonna do kind of a quick and dirty cleanse or if I want like a full guided meditation. And then I shield myself. So I'll tell you more about how I do each of those. So for grounding, I picture myself sitting in whichever location of my little world in my mind that I'm in. And I'm always sitting with my legs crossed and like my hands, you know, open on my knees or even like this occasionally on my knees. And I imagine just these roots branching out, going down into the earth. And I imagine them going all the way through all the various layers of the earth, all the way to the core. And that's actually how I connect with Gaia. I connect with Gaia on such a natural level that when people ask what deities I work with, I don't even really ever feel the need to say her. Because it's just such a natural connection. So I imagine, when I imagine my roots, I'm imagining them kind of branching out as they're going into the ground, like tree roots do. But one in the center will always continue all the way down to the core of the earth. And I usually imagine it wrapping around the core a few times. And then I imagine or visualize this energy coming from the core of the earth or from Gaia, usually kind of a golden color, going up through the roots I've just put down and entering my body, filling me. For centering, I do this rather quickly. This may seem silly to some, but I think for a moment of where all my chakras are. And I literally do this with my hand. And that, to me, centers me. Even if I don't physically do this, I picture myself, you know, where I'm sitting in my little wonderland doing that. If I am taking care of my chakras on my own without a guided meditation, what my intention is, what I say, is that as the light of Gaia is moving up my body from where it entered, which is basically around my tailbone, as it goes up through the root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and then on into the crown chakras, as it moves through those, it is cleansing, clearing, and opening them. And in turn, empowering all of my chakras to work with each other too, to help keep each other cleared and aligned and all of that. So that's my way of doing my chakras if I'm not listening to a guided meditation to clear them. And then I shield myself. I actually have a video on shielding on my channel if you would like to check that out. I have a video on various techniques. I personally use the bubble shield technique. So I imagine this kind of egg-shaped translucent pink bubble. I don't know why I always go to pink, but I always go to pink. It's not even my favorite color, but I always go to pink. And then I also imagine the light from Gaia coming out of my heart chakra and just filling that bubble. And I got this from Tess Whitehurst. I could never remember exactly how she says it, but she says something like only love remains and only love may enter, or something along those lines. And so I say something like that about my shield. Basically, we get the intention that within my shield, all that remains is love, and only love can pass through it, which may be why I imagine it as pink. So that is my grounding, centering, cleansing, chakras, shielding, all of that. Another thing I like to do on a daily basis as part of my practice is some sort of divination. I love divination. I use tarot decks, oracle cards, and recently I've been getting into using just actual playing cards. I have a deck that I love. A deck of playing cards that I got at a magic shop quite a while ago. I can't even find these online to buy them again. I can find other decks that look similar, but I can't find this deck anymore. They're clear. So in the back you can see it says bicycle, and all the cards have like the spade shape on them. And then in the front, in that spade shape is what tells you, like that's where like the picture will be or something. And then like this is the Queen of Hearts. You can see that looking at it. I love these cards. They're plastic. They shuffle so well. It's like meditation sometimes, just sitting here and shuffling them. I shuffle them overhand. I just love how it feels. Anyway, I also have a pendulum, which I have shown on this channel, but let me grab it here. Let me not knock everything down. Here is my pendulum. I bought it at a local metaphysical shop. I adore it. Sometimes I might use the pendulum. For tarot and oracle, I have 5 tarot decks currently and 3 oracle. Another thing I like to do is, hang on, my husband just messaged me. Oh, his head hurts, poor baby. Dude, I totally feel people with head pain because y'all know I have chronic migraines. I have so much sympathy when someone tells me they have head pain. Alright, so I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I have an app on my phone. That's a mini ring light, by the way, that you're seeing. Like a cell phone ring light. I have it like stuck on the camera. Anyway, this is called Tarot Sampler, and it's by the Fool's Dog. This app is free. Now, the Fool's Dog has quite a few apps that they make for various tarot decks where you can use a specific deck with the app, and they're usually, I want to say like $4, like $3.99 or something US. I haven't bought any, but the Tarot Sampler is free, and there's a ton of decks in it. A ton. Like this, like you just these are the decks. Just insane, the number of decks. And you can uncheck any of them. By default, they're all checked, but you can uncheck any of them. You can do layouts. I don't do layouts. I use my physical cards for that. What I use this for, though, is a daily draw. So here on the front page, there's new reading, draw a card, and today's card. So I'll just click on today's card, and it will say today's card. So I've already pulled today's card, so it's not going to change. And what it does is it shows you about 6 variations, so from 6 different decks. And you can click on them individually and see, you know, them up close. You can actually go to the meaning and see each one of them, what that deck, you know, like what the guidebook for that deck says that they mean to, which is kind of cool. I like it for 2 reasons. It gives me a really easy way to draw a daily card. And it's also really kind of cool just being able to see like 6 different variations of the same card. So like today my card was Judgment. It gave me the Judgment card from the Mystic Dreamer Tarot, which I have. It was my first deck. It gave me the Judgment card from the Zombie Tarot. That's fun. It gave me a Judgment from the Necronomicon Tarot. And then the other 3 it gave me are slightly different. It gave me the Chrysalis Tarot, which is actually a phoenix. It still says Judgment underneath it though. And then it gave me from the Vision Quest Tarot, it's actually called Spirit Guide. It's this one here. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it. And then it gave from the Wildwood Tarot, Judgment is the Great Bear. The Wildwood is actually the next deck I'm buying. I know I'm getting it at some point. Right now I'm still very connected with the Tarot of the Hidden Realms. Even though I feel like the Wildwood is calling me like crazy, I'm still very connected with the Tarot of the Hidden Realms that I got a few weeks ago, and so I'm still using that one a lot. It's probably best that I don't get the Wildwood right away. So anyway, that's how I do my daily draw. And then I try to do something else beyond that though. So I might just pull 3 cards, I might get my pendulum out, or my just regular playing cards out and do something. I might come across a spread I really like. Another thing I might do is there's a lot of divination challenges on Instagram where it'll be like for 30 days, or some are more like 7 days or even 3 days. But like here's all the prompts, and you draw like a tarot or oracle card for each day, or sometimes consciously like specifically pick one that you think fits and make a post about it on Instagram. So I haven't consistently done a tarot challenge since I think December. I did them consistently like every day. But I think I might start back up in March. It's been hard for me to do them consistently because January and February were kind of hard months, but so that's another way I bring in daily divination. So I like to do my divination daily. Oh, I forgot. When I'm meditating too, once I'm done with the grounding, shielding, and all of that, then I spend some time talking to the deities I'm currently working with, any animal spirits I currently have with me, angels, I work with them. I work with unicorn energy right now too, so I will generally talk to a unicorn about what I'm working with them on. So that's when I take my time to go through and talk to all of these beings that I'm working with. Which, as I said near the beginning, that's another reason that I like to do the daily practice, is it gives me an avenue to speak to my spiritual helpers on a daily basis. So I do that in my meditation too. That about covers my daily practice. That's all the things I do in relation to my craft and my practice, my spirituality, and all of that. Not everyone has a daily practice, and that's cool. I like having one. So if you have a daily practice, tell me about it. I would like to know what you do. You don't have to go into as much detail as I did, but I would love to hear what you do in yours. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. You know, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like, subscribing. I love, love, love to read comments. So leave me a comment about whatever. If you want to tell me about your daily practice, if you want to tell me why you don't have one, if you have a suggestion for something you'd like me to cover on this channel, that would be great too. I do respond to all comments. Of course, right now I don't get very many, so that's easy to do. But I would love to hear from you. So thank you again for joining me. I hope to see you in my next video. I love you all. Still haven't decided everything I want to say at the end. Blessed be. Bye.